completely paranoid lately, and you may as well. I'll give you a little bit of context. As you may know, FBI and Apple have been butting heads for the longest time over cracking open one iPhone, and FBI has finally done this, which makes me wonder, how secure is the data on my iPhone or my Mac? How secure is yours with all your videos and photos and personal information? And to answer just that question, I decided to meet up with a bunch of ethical hackers that will help me get around this situation and tell me how good or bad this is. So I'm going to go witness a live hack just now, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I will. This is very exciting stuff. Come follow me.
Finally, all the increments done, balance sheet locked in. It's the first week of April, New Year, so all the confidential information is on my system. I'm going to lock this, go grab a bite. Let's see what happens next.
So Saket just left and he was talking about our salary increments. Now he's having MacBook Pro. So let me see, it's a little bit tricky to hack into MacBook Pro, but let me see how I can reach into it and see what is my new salary.
The Mac OS is considered to be among the most secure systems in the world. So it came as a big shock to me when I found out how easy it is to reset the password of a Mac. You may spend thousands on a premium laptop, but that does not ensure your safety and security. In quick steps, Rahul was actually able to reset the password on Saket's Mac way before he got back from his lunch. But he did not stop just there.
So as you can see, we have Saket's laptop here and we have reset his password, and obviously when he will come back, he will come to know that his password has been changed. Now I don't want to lose the access on his laptop, so I want to maintain this access forever on his laptop. To do that, I need one more attacker machine which is going to attack on Saket's machine and will gain access of this machine here. So here I have one application known as Metasploit framework, inside which we have created a custom script in our labs. So that script is right now I transfer to the desktop, and as I'm going to double click on that script, you can see this machine will be having symptoms, and this machine will be having an access point through which you can control entire functionality of this machine. You can entirely control the camera, you can search hard disk, you can download any content whichever you want. Along with that, you can delete whatever you want.
And Rahul wasn't exaggerating in any way when he said that he will have complete and total control over Saket's Mac. After about 15 minutes and a few clicks, he gained access to all his files. He even left behind a cheeky folder right on the desktop called Hacker Was Here. He could also delete any folder on Saket's laptop without even so much as touching it. What's more, he could also see the photos stored on the Mac. We may think that with antivirus softwares and passwords, our data is well protected, but nothing is impenetrable as it seems. Luckily, we have Saket Modi, a white hat hacker mogul, in our corner.
So let's start with the basics about if you were a hacker and you got an access to the system, what all would you be interested to find out? The first and foremost thing which a lot of people would look at would be looking at the financial data to find the user IDs and passwords of your net banking and see if they can transact with that. Now, in order to save your passwords, I know a lot of friends who save that in blank text files, and they just type in the passwords because it's too complex for them to remember, and your bank prompts you every 2 weeks to change the password. That's a disaster, that's a blunder to do. So how do you walk around that? Use something called a keychain. Every Apple operating system comes with keychain. The password that Rahul reset was only the login password. He was not able to reset the keychain password from the reset menu. So keychain is something that you must use if you want to store your passwords and it's too complex for you to remember. The second things which a lot of hackers would want to go after is certainly your personal details, starting from all the pictures, the videos that you might have stored of you and your friends going out. So when that happens, I thoroughly suggest you first not store them on the hard disk on the computer of your own. However, on the other side, you must also not generally stay stay away from Apple Cloud or Google Photos for that matter. Remember, Mr. Tim Cook and Mr. Sundar Pichai can certainly see the pictures whenever they want at their convenience. So what do you really go ahead and how do you secure yourself? Ideally, you can have external hard disks. It can be ranging from a 1 terabyte hard disk to the small memory cards that generally all the cameras stay or come out with. So you can have those sticks, and when you're storing pictures on that or videos on that, make sure it's encrypted. And when I say encrypted, it's not just about putting a password on accessing those pictures, but on the other side there are ways by which you can go in and at the bit level you can change the way a picture is stored on a hard disk, so that if it goes in the wrong hands, even if the person breaks in using a password, he's still not able to see the pictures the way they are. So you must certainly use encryption while storing the pictures externally. And of course the last part can be the generic information of you logging in, because we forget that a lot of things can be extracted from the logs of computers, that what is your way of you doing things, the searches that you're doing, the URLs that you're doing. So in general, I would say if you really want to be secured, not just from the third part but all the three things which you said, if you assume that whatever you're doing on your computer, on the internet, is already hacked, every Snapchat of yours, every file transfer, every email of yours is already being watched, doesn't matter by whom, but it's already being watched by somebody or the other, when that is something which you take in as a default, anything that you will do on the internet will automatically be secured, and you can certainly go ahead and have a relatively safer life on the cyberspace.
Well, Saket, Rahul, I have to thank you guys for first scaring the wits out of me, but also teaching me how to properly handle hacks and how to prevent them. I feel a lot safer already, and I hope you viewers also have learned your lesson and will pull up your socks and stop neglecting security measures. But keep watching, because Priyanka on the other side of the break will give us a very special treat for audiophiles.
Welcome back to Bite Me. Now, do you remember I said I'm an audiophile? So I've decided that today on Bite Me, I'm going to create a collection of gadgets that are going to help you boost your sound. And hey, wait a second, I'm not an expert, I'm not a blogger, so I'm not going to talk at length about the specs of each gadget. But I have decided to break it down for you. I'm going to break it down to 3 pointers: the what, the why, and for whom. I want to introduce the Boat Lightning Adapter earphones. Now, why are these so different? Because the jack of these earphones isn't like the normal jack that you see on normal earphones. These come with a lightning adapter jack. So essentially these can connect to your iPhone, your iPad or your iPod, and you don't need a separate jack to plug in the earphone. Now this brings us to the second pointer, the why should you buy it? I think these might just be a cut above the Apple earphones, because the sound is louder and clearer than what I experienced with my Apple earphones. And now I'm someone who swears by Apple products, so that I'm saying it, these must be really good. A little drawback here, at certain points in the music file, I did feel a little bit of a disturbance in the sound quality. I'm not sure why that is, so you may want to look out for that. But apart from that, these scored very high on my music radar. That brings us to our last pointer. For whom are these meant for? I think these are meant for all Apple loyalists who are also looking for an alternative set of earphones for their Apple devices. I suggest go buy these, and if you're still wondering why you should, here's a quick look at what all the product packs.
The first treat for audiophiles in my collection is a first of its kind product. Say hello to the Boat DSP-4000, sleek digital earphones with lighting adapter for your iOS devices. This one is claiming to be one of the world's first lightning jack earphones for Apple users. In my opinion, these earphones delivered some good, clear, crisp sound, mostly without distortion, though there was some disturbance in certain audiophiles which we couldn't figure out why. The earphones come with 8.6mm drivers, and the sound is not just loud, it's loud and clear. What makes them super special and unique is that the Boat DSP-4000 has been approved by Apple by its stringent MFI certification and delivers sound directly from any Apple device with Lightning connector, reducing crosstalk interference and improves stereo separation.
So those were the Boat Lightning Adapter earphones, a great set of earphones, though at a slightly higher price point than your Apple earphones, and that made you sway you against them. Now I have my next watch ready. This is the Mi Bluetooth speaker. What do I like about it? It's compact, it's sleek, it syncs using Bluetooth technology with your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop. So if you're going to party on the go, this is the device that you need to buy. Now why should you buy the Mi Bluetooth speaker? Because it's sleek, compact, cheap and promises great sound quality. And you know what? It even talks to you like this.
Ready to pair.
How much battery do I have?
Battery power is about 60%.
And for whom are these speakers meant for? For anybody who likes to listen to music on the go, put them in your jacket, put them in your handbag, put them in your pocket. These are pretty portable, and also the sound quality here is pretty excellent.
Here's a treat for all the Mi fans out there, as well as those of you who haven't yet jumped onto the Xiaomi bandwagon. The new speaker from the Chinese tech giant, the Mi Bluetooth speaker, can now be yours for an affordable rupees 1,999. I love the fact that it's a good looker and pretty airy at a mere 270 grams. This is just what I need for a weekend getaway. It supports Bluetooth and is pretty interactive. But hey, I'm not convinced so easily, and I even tested out the range, and this is what I thought.
Okay, so guys, I went right to the bottom of the stairs and it worked pretty well. This one has a great range, so if you're planning to have a great party, this is a great bet.
The sound quality is decent and the battery delivers a music playback of 8 hours on a full charge. So come on, become a Mi fan.
Are you wondering what I'm doing? Well, this has to be the most inane function of a speaker, and that is a selfie function. But that brings me to my next watch. I have with me the Ultra Pro Link speakers. These two are Bluetooth speakers, and like the Mi Bluetooth speakers, these also promise a great range, but we are going to come to the range a little bit later. So why should you buy this Bluetooth speaker from Ultra Pro Link? Because it has an extra thumb that the Mi Bluetooth speaker did not have. So if you're expecting a big gathering and you're hosting a bigger party, this may be a better bet. So for whom are these speakers meant for? These are meant for those who are not looking for something light and portable, because let's be frank, these are quite clunky and are not exactly easy on the eyes either. But for serious party goers, this is a great option.
This one isn't easy on the eyes, and that's my only gripe with it. Ultra Pro Link's high Q1 Bluetooth speaker is easy to use with a volume up-down button, which also doubles up as a previous next for changing track, a call answer button which also doubles up as play or pause, and an M button which helps you toggle between different sources and also help you click that telltale selfie. You also have a micro USB port, a full-size USB port, a micro SD card slot and line-in jack. And the range, you ask? Here's what I thought.
So while this one does have the extra thumb, in a 20 feet room, this did not perform as well as the Mi Bluetooth speaker, and there was plenty of distortion. So I think the Mi Bluetooth speaker wins this one hands down. Well, as you can see, my goodie bag of gadgets is ready, and I'm sure they're going to help me boost my sound. And you know what? The weekend is here. What better time than now to plan a party? You go ahead and do the same, but don't forget to write into us at primetech@ndtv.com with all the feedback and suggestions. And also, if you want us to give you demos of new gadgets in the market, do write in. For now, it's a goodbye.